What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. I can't even give a straight face while doing this. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the fighters in the UFC that are most likely to have attended the Diddy Parties. It's the most retarded video idea I've ever had to date, I reckon. Like, I've done some cooked videos. I've done the most racist fighters tier list. I've done an ethnicities tier list. I've done a fucking gayest fighters tier list. That's pretty similar to this one. But today we're going to be talking about which fighters would have been attending the Diddy Parties. Now, I don't even know when the Diddy Parties took place. That's a timeline I'm not too sure with, to be honest. I'm not an expert in the field. But I'm just going to assume, like, if these guys were around, if they were present in the scene at the time that those parties were taking place, I reckon these are the people that would have attended said Diddy Parties. We've got 5 tiers ranging from Meek Mill, if you know who that is, if you know, you know, all the way down to probably have attended once. So yeah, we're going to be talking about 25 different fighters in the UFC today. And yeah, you guys let me know who I missed, if you agree or not with my placements. But yeah, let's get started with the video. So to start off, Jon Jones is going in the top tier. He is the Meek Mill of the Diddy Parties. Now, I'll give you guys a less graphic version of who Meek Mill is if you don't know. Basically, he was getting his cheeks clapped by Diddy. That's the short form of it. So yeah, the people in the top tier are the ones that were invited into the private rooms, if you know what I'm saying. They were signing the NDAs, you know. But yeah, Jon Jones, you know, his nickname is literally Bones. I think he's been telling us for a while. He's just been trying to, like, indirectly drop hints to let us know that he's gay. We all know the clips. Everyone's seen MMA Guru's video. I don't need to repeat all of the stuff. I don't need to uncover the evidence. I think everyone kind of knows Jones probably swings both ways, or maybe swings just one way, to be honest. Maybe he doesn't even swing towards women, and maybe he just swings fists at them. That was a fucking good joke, by the way. I thought of that off the fly. But that was, yeah, Jon Jones, you know, him and Diddy probably got along, you know. He likes beating up his wife. Diddy likes beating up women, you know, Cassie. We all know what happened there. Allegedly, of course, all of it's allegedly, even though it's not, it's literally been proven, all of it. But anyway, yeah, Jon Jones, I reckon him and Diddy were boys. Him and Diddy were getting down and diddling at the parties. Let's move on, though, to the next fighter. Next up on the tier list, we got Joseph Benavidez. You know, the quote from the man who said, "I used to fuck guys like you in high school." I would be mistaken to think that this guy has not probably attended some Diddy parties in his time. He looks a bit zesty, you know, he kind of looks like a gay man, if I'm being honest. Not in a bad way, of course. This is all a positive video, guys. This is, I'm complimenting these fighters, by the way. This is all a positive light. There's no negative things going on here. But yeah, Joseph Benavidez, I don't know. I feel like he would get down with the Diddy Parties. Maybe Caught on Camera is the tier that I've got him in, by the way. I didn't say that before. But yeah, this is the second top tier. This is the ones that they probably, you know, Diddy was taking the videos and Diddy was keeping them under wraps, you know, being like, hey, don't spread too much info. I've got this video. Some Jon Jones, Dana White type shit. Like, that's probably why we're hearing Dana just glaze Jon Jones nonstop. You know, there's probably some videos going around, and those videos may or may not have been taken at the Diddy Parties. But Joseph Benavidez, yeah, just that one quote of just saying, "I used to fuck guys like you in high school." I know he meant to like fuck up guys like you in high. Maybe that's what he meant. But yeah, Benavidez, even that, just he looks a bit sus, if I'm being honest. Let's move on though to another fighter. No, this is not good party for me. I must only fight up in the rank. Cyril, we're not talking about the rankings, buddy. No, this is, I need to go to Diddy Parties. This is only way I can get my way to title shot. Cyril Gane, yeah, this guy gives me zesty vibes, you know. There was a bit too much movement going on in that Francis Ngannou fight in the lower half when they were engaging in the grappling, you know. It was a bit sus from Cyril. But yeah, I just reckon, like, does he not seem like the kind of guy who would just be, you know, he seems like a kind of popular guy. He's going out to some parties. I'm sure he's visited America a few times and probably visited the Diddler's mansion, if you know what I'm saying. But let's move on, though, to another fighter. This is the most retarded video ever. I hope you guys are enjoying that. Anyway, let's move on. No Diddy. Let's move on, though, to the next fighter. Dominic Cruz, you know, he's probably attended some Diddy parties. He's old enough to have as well. Like, he's nearing 40. You're 40 years of age. Mate, what are you doing? But Dominic Cruz, there's a video of him sitting on the fucking handlebars with Hans Molman or whatever his name is, the monster guy. And yeah, that photo alone of him sitting on the handlebars, like, you can't tell me this guy, there's not a photo of him somewhere sitting on Diddy's lap. Like, That's just the assumptions I'm going to be making. Of course, everything in this video is alleged. I'm not claiming anyone was actually engaging in illegal activities. But no, Dominic Cruz wouldn't surprise me if he was one of the more, submissive members of the parties, if you know what I'm saying. Anyway, let's move on, though, to another fighter. Next up, we got Sean O'Malley. I don't know why he's down here. I'm going to move him later on. Probably attended once. There, I do the tier list, like, I set it all up, and then I record the audio and shit, so I don't know why I put him here. I'm gonna move him later on, but yeah, O'Malley's probably attended a few. He seems like the kind of guy, he parties a bit. He would attend some, him and Schmitty. He won't shut the fuck up about Schmitty, so maybe him and Schmitty are pulling mad. I would say mad hoes, but it didn't appear to be any hoes at the Diddy party. It was all blokes. So you look at the type of bloke that messages blokes. That's what Conor McGregor would say. But no, Sean O'Malley. His guy's just got a bit of zestiness going on. He's talked about also how he used to set up his mates to, like, fuck his wife and shit. That's some Diddy type stuff. That's something I feel like he'd be going to the parties. Just he sends his wife on a coffee date with his mate, and, he goes and visits the Diddler's mansion and has some fun of his own. That's what I'm assuming with Sean O'Malley. But let's move on to another fighter. Start back up to the top tier, Jeff Molina. This isn't even like an alleging thing. I can confidently say that Jeff Molina is homosexual because he's admitted it himself. So congratulations, Molina. At least you're better than all of the other people on this list who are probably gay but won't admit it. Just be comfortable with yourself. Do you. If you're gonna do it anyway, if you're gonna suck cock, then at least tell people you're sucking cock, if you know what I'm saying. Jeff Molina, though, yeah, he was definitely sitting on some laps at the Diddy parties. He was definitely He was definitely the catcher, not the pitcher, if you know what I'm saying. But yeah, let's move on to another fighter. Mate, what you talking about? I never attended a Diddy party in my life. As a fucking allegation. Never put my name in with the diddlers. As not who I am, and that is, quite frankly, a ridiculous claim. Conor McGregor, that impression fucking just went up and down between, like, accurate and then just completely shit. But anyway, Conor McGregor, he attends parties. He's a guy that gets around, we see videos of him at fucking clubs with, like, midgets trying to hook up with him and shit. Conor's definitely banged some threes. Conor's probably banged some dudes, let's be honest. That's what happens. I'm pretty sure there was, like, a photo of him on a yacht with a dude. So I'm not going to judge him. He's rich. He's got more money than I'll ever have. So do what you want, Conor. Have fun, mate. But yeah, would not surprise me if the Mac had attended some Diddy parties in his time. But let's move on to another fighter. Next up on the tier list, Jordan Levitt. It would be rude of me to not include the only fucking male fighter in the UFC who actively twerks after a victory and not put him on this list. He's probably he's shook that thing at the parties. Drake's been at the parties, shake that ass for me. That's what Drake sang in some of his songs, It's probably what he was telling Jordan Levitt, if we're being honest. Anyway, yeah, I'm pretty sure he's literally straight and has a wife and kids, but still, any man that twerks after a victory in the octagon, I can't not have you on the list. Not the other list, it's a good list, guys, it's not a bad list. Anyway, let's move on to another fighter. Leo Roundtree, just the way this guy talks, seems like it's weird because, Roundtree looks like he'd be the pitcher, not the catcher, but the way he talks, you'd be like, oh, maybe this guy is catching. If you know what I mean, it's another word for saying giving or receiving, if you didn't pick up on the joke. But Khalil Roundtree, yeah, I don't know, he talks a bit sus, he seems like a bit of a, quiet, kind of shy guy when he's not, in the octagon, and he randomly just turns into a fucking spastic and just starts killing people. But, outside of that, I don't know, I feel like he was, probably went both ways, probably experimented in his time. It's just a guess from Khalil Roundtree. Yes, just listen, you guys know what I'm not reaching here. You guys know what I'm talking about. Hear Khalil Roundtree talk. He sounds a bit sus. But let's move on, though, to another fighter. Next up, we've got Aljamain Sterling. Probably attended a couple parties in his day. Probably not an often attendee. He started faking it or Aljo's a master of faking, so he probably started faking something else, if you know what I'm saying. But yeah, I don't know, probably attended one and got kicked out or something. And they didn't want him there. They wanted only real shit. No faking. No Oscar-winning performances. Despite the amount of Oscar-winning actors that were probably at the parties. Anyway, let's move on though to another fighter. Next up on the tier list, Peyton Talbot, fucking top tier, Meek Mill of a guy. You can't, even if it was his friend or whatever that he was trying to justify those Facebook or Twitter posts or whatever they were from way back, you can't have that on your social media. Hacked friend saying it, anything. Like, yeah, but why are you the only fucking person to have that on their social media, buddy? What if you don't know the Twitter? I can't say it out loud because otherwise you're gonna put me in the fucking S tier for this tier list. If I say that shit out loud, someone's gonna clip it and take it out of context. But no, he said some questionable things that is basically just saying that he wants cock, is what he said. Obviously, I don't think he said it, but still, Talbot is zesty, they've probably got him on. Diddy's gotten him on the stripper pole in the fucking private lounge. That's what I'm assuming. Let's move on though to another fighter. Israel Adesanya botched. Izzy was definitely at the party. I'm only at the Diddy parties if there's a dog at the party. Trust. Izzy, I got that dog in me. Botched. Realistically, legit. Trust. Israel Adesanya was definitely seems like the kind of guy who would attend some Diddy parties. He's partying all the time. He's a famous guy. He goes out, gets some DUI charges. He fits right in. He fits the bill. So I'm sure he was probably doing some stuff with the diddler. Let's move. This sounds so retarded. What am I even doing? Let's move on though to another fighter. Terrence McKinney. This guy just looks like a typical black person who would be a rapper, and that fits the demographic of people that were at the parties. So I'm gonna put him on the list. He seems like a bit submissive. Terrence McKinney does, to be honest. Like, he's the little guy of the group with like Jamal Hill and the other hoodlums. What am I doing? My family watches these videos. They actually do. It's fucked. Anyway, let's move on to another fighter. Next fighter, we got Jaylen Turna again. Just another stereotypical black dude that probably would be a rapper if he wasn't fighting. I don't know what this guy's fucking rap name would be, like Lil Tarantula or some shit like that. I don't know, maybe he's got a little tarantula. Pause. That's fucking weird. I'll edit that out. No, I won't. It's, it provides the uncut version of the video. This is just me yapping and you guys get to hear it in first person or first time or whatever. Anyway, let's move on to another fighter. Polo Costa. I reckon this dude, when he was like at the start of his UFC career type shit, was like, didn't speak any English, just got invited to a party, probably was like, oh, I'll go, goes to the party and then is like, what the fuck, and then just like never came back. Like, maybe he engaged in some activities, maybe Diddy slipped a pill in his drink, but I don't think Polo Costa would regularly attend the Diddy parties. Anyway, let's move on though to another fighter. Montel Jackson. You might ask, why is random number 15 ranked bantamweight Montel Jackson in this tier list? Because if you've heard this man speak, if you heard this guy talk, he sounds so zesty. I'm sorry. Like, I feel bad because he's a fucking good fighter. Like, he just KO'd Damon Blackshear. But, like, I cannot listen to this guy talk and not immediately jump to the conclusion that this guy's getting fucked in the ass. I'm kidding. That wasn't my immediate reaction when I heard him talk. But when I was making this video, I was just kind of looking through the rankings to see if there was any, like, notable fighters that I was missing. I was like, yeah, Montel Jackson, that's the guy that talks real zesty, isn't it? I went back and watched his last post-out interview. He sounds fucking gay. In a good way, of course. It's a positive video. But no, I'm putting him in the fucking S tier. He kind of looks like Meek Mill as well, if I'm being honest. Anyway, let's move on, though, to another fighter. Up on the list, Pat Barry. You've probably been waiting for Pat Barry. He's the OG of the diddlers in the MMA community, if you know what I'm talking about. He paved the way. He was doing it first, bro. Him and Diddy were definitely mates. He's definitely got him in his contact list, saved as, like Big Puff or some shit, or Big Puff or some shit like that. Puff Daddy. That's what he's fucking. What Pat Barry's got Diddy saved in his contacts as Puff Daddy is. That's what he's got him as, or the Diddler. They've got each other both saved as Diddler. Diddler 1 and Diddler 2. That's what these two are. They're the fucking dynamic duo. The partners in crime. But yeah, these two, I reckon, I don't know if Pat Barry was taking it. He was probably giving it, but not consensually, if you know what I'm saying. Allegedly, of course. Probably what's the guy's name? Usher. Or some Justin Bieber types, before they turned 18, of course, because that's not his type. Fuck, it is atrocious. I am definitely going to get, if my channel was any bigger, like if I wasn't kind of irrelevant and only had 10k subs, I would probably be like getting a fucking lawsuit from one of these people by now. If any of them actually see this video, I'm getting a fucking lawsuit. No, but Pat Barry, you're a great guy. Thumbs up. Love your work. I don't love your work. You're a scumbag. Anyway, let's move on to another fighter. Next up on the list, Dricus du Plessis. I only said that I went to the parties. I never said that I was fucked in the ass. It's two completely different things, completely. Dricus du Plessis. I can't do the fucking South African impression, but I'm going to try anyway, and I ain't stopping. But anyway, Dricus du Plessis, this man's kissing his coaches in public. I don't want to know what he's doing in private. So yeah, I'm just going to take an assumption that in his trips to America, he's probably visited some parties and probably visited some gay clubs or something along those lines, and some mansions owned by rappers named P. Diddy. I'm just thinking of different ways to say they've attended Diddy parties. But yeah, Dricus would not surprise me if he got down with the Diddler. Let's move on though to Got Down with the Diddler. That's like a fucking album title right there. That's a song title or something. Anyway, let's move on to another fighter. Next up on the list, we got, who's this? Alonzo Manfield. Well, Pat Barry's probably bringing him along as the fucking Down syndrome little black guy that he brings along, because they're like, Pat, you're not black, but if you want to come to the parties, you got to bring a up-and-coming rapper. And so Pat just brings his friend Alonzo Manfield. They're like, oh yeah, he looks enough like a rapper, bring him in. And then Alonzo's just sitting there being fucking Down syndrome, and they're just like, you want a drink, kid? And they just give him a drink, and then you want to come with us, kid? And he comes with them, and then what am I saying? I'm sorry. This is terrible. Alonzo Manfield, I don't want to make any assumptions, but yeah, you're not, there's nothing going on in your brain, bro. So he was probably just there as he just sat there and just like got diddled as a kid, probably. I don't know. Let's move on though to another fighter. Next up on the tier list, Sean Strickland again. I reckon this guy attended one party, probably engaged in some activities, and then was like, oh, hang on, I talk all this shit about gay people, I better not get caught being gay. So then he just dipped, probably signed an NDA, made sure none of those videos got out, but he's probably you can't, like, Sean Strickland has definitely experimented or like thought of being gay or done some such shit as a kid or something. I reckon that's probably why his dad was a cunt to him, to be honest. But, kind of based out of no. But Sean Strickland wouldn't surprise me. The amount of shit he talks about gay people, I'm not going to dispute it, but it also does indicate to me that he probably has tried some other stuff. That doesn't mean I've tried any stuff, like, guys. Just clearing my name. No, Sean Strickland, yeah. I don't think he fits the profile though. Like, white trailer fucking cunt. He's not an up and coming rapper who just turns like 18. So yeah, I don't think he fits the bill. I don't think they would want him there. Anyway, let's move on though to another fighter. Next up, Ian Gary. This dude's getting absolutely plowed. His wife's getting plowed at home, and then he goes out. He's like, Layla, I'll go to the Diddy parties. You can fuck a bunch of men, and I'll get fucked by a bunch of men. I actually genuinely can't make my voice go that high to sound like Ian Gary. But Ian Gary definitely experimenting, definitely just taking it up the arse. This is a retarded video. But no, like, you can't, like, I know he's like, he posted the video of like him with his fucking shorts pulled up so far up his ass cheeks, and I was like, and then people are like, bro, see, he's trying to make people pissed off, man. I'm like, it's not really pissing me off. It's just fucking odd. Like, what are you doing? So yeah, Ian Gary's definitely experimenting, definitely been diddled in his time. He's been preyed upon as an up-and-coming athlete by his wife to get his money, so he's probably been preyed upon in other ways. Let's move on, though, to another fighter. Next up on the tier list, Dana White. Hey, what's the question? Did I ever attend the Diddy parties? No. If Jon Jones walks into a room with anybody, he's fucking them in the ass, and then he's walking out of that room every time. Jon Jones. When I tell you about Jon Jones, is the greatest pound-for-pound fighter, and he's the greatest active diddler in the sport right now. Period. And if you disagree, you can argue with the fucking wall. And there's definitely not a video of me getting fucked in the ass by Jon Jones. Dana White, that was his interview comment when asked about the Diddy parties. No, but Dana's a rich guy. He gambles. He hangs out with celebrities. He does all this shit. Would it surprise me if Dana, who is around the age of Diddy, I think he's a little bit older, would it surprise me if he was attending some of the parties? Probably not. There was a lot of people there. A lot of people there were some people in the combat sports, and Mike Tyson was at some of those parties. You know, some of those comments that Mike Tyson was saying to that reporter, they're starting to look a bit telling, to be honest. But no, Dana White wouldn't surprise me. Genuinely, like, the other ones are like they wouldn't have even fucking been like an adult at the time. I mean, still leaves them open for possibility. But no, Dana is around that age where, like, yeah, he's probably a celebrity that could have attended at one point or another. Let's move on, though, to another fighter. Up Tyron Woodley. You know, I haven't even seen the video, to be honest, and I'm glad I haven't, but we know the video is out there of Tyron Woodley munching, if we're going to say that. And let's just say they've probably recruited him to use those skills elsewhere. It's just my assumption. Also, you know, Woodley, highly skilled, up-and-coming young black... Well, he's not young. Highly skilled, up-and-coming black rapper, you know, fits the bill. I mean, he's not highly skilled, and I wouldn't call him a rapper. But he has rap songs. He's probably being mentored by the Diddler, you know. Probably been there. He's around the age of Meek Mill, I'm pretty sure. Maybe they had him doing some things there at the parties. Let's move on, though, to another fighter. No real reason for him to be here in particular. Cody Garbrandt. I don't know, just gives me a bit of a vibe that he would probably have attended a few parties. I don't know, no real assumptions being made. And then lastly, we've got Luke Rockhold, I believe, is who we've got. Rockhold proves to be just socially fucking awkward as shit around women. We've seen the Rockhold Riz, or the Rockhold failures, we'll call it. There's literally photos of him and Craig Jones just being gay with each other. So yeah, would it surprise me if Rockhold was getting down with a diddler? Not at all. But I'll move Sean O'Malley up to regular attendee because I do think he would probably be someone who attends the parties. I'll move Garn down just for the purpose of having the tiers even, I guess. So yeah, and I'll move Jaylen Turna if he wasn't already lower down. I'll move him there too. But yeah, that's the video done, guys. I've just confirmed and secured the fact that I will never get an interview with any of these fighters, which I probably wasn't going to anyway, but still, they are now going to completely hate me if ever asked about me, which probably won't happen. But if you guys ever meet a UFC fighter, I'll tell them to shout out Left Lane. But yeah, none of them are going to if they see this video. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Which fighters did I miss? Let me know in the comments. Anyway, all that good stuff. More videos, more cooked shit. If you want to see more retarded videos, I can come up with all the boring videos by myself. And all, like, I can come up with some funny shit like this. Like, I did propose this one myself and you guys wanted to see it. But if you guys want any really crazy shit that's, like, within reason that I wouldn't think of, then let me know and I might do it if it gets lots of likes in the comments. But yeah, peace out, guys. See you in the next one. And don't be getting down with the diddler. Peace out.